A series of major drug raids headed by the Ashtabula County Prosecutor's Office, Ashtabula Police, the Sheriff's Department, and Trumbull Ashtabula Group Task Force was executed Friday, March 27th, centered in Ashtabula. It comes nearly a year after a similar raid in Geneva. The legal and law enforcement agencies detailed their efforts during an afternoon news conference.
On Monday, March 23, 2015, the Ashtabula County Grand Jury issued secret felony indictments against 26 street-level drug dealers in Ashtabula City as part of an undercover operation and investigation that dates back in some cases to May of 2014. The primary purpose of the operation was to target traffickers of illegal narcotics, remove drugs from the streets of Ashtabula County, and potentially save lives. Many of the individuals involved who have been indicted by the grand jury on March 23rd were arrested over the past few days. Several of the arrests occurred in the early morning hours today as part of a multi-agency arrest sweep and booked in the Ashtabula County Jail. All of those individuals arrested have also been arraigned in the courtroom of Judge Gary Yost today. Arrest warrants are outstanding on the balance of those persons who have been indicted and not arrested at this time. As part of this operation, approximately 107 grams of heroin were removed from the streets of Ashtabula, having a street value between $15,000 and $21,000. Of course, that does not include the drugs that you see before me. These drugs were obtained during the execution of the arrest warrants this morning. This amount is in addition to the 11 plus grams of cocaine and 49 tablets of oxycodone recovered from this effort. It has become apparent from this operation that the illegal narcotics trade, particularly involving heroin, continues to run at an epidemic proportion in our county. Individuals appear to be freely and openly selling heroin and other drugs on the streets of Ashtabula and throughout Ashtabula County. Law enforcement will continue to combat as aggressively as possible the trafficking of illegal narcotics in our area, and we will prosecute those individuals who are directly involved. This operation and sweep, like the sweep that occurred in Geneva 1 year ago, is again intended to send a clear message to those dealing and trafficking drugs in Ashtabula County that law enforcement officials know who you are and are watching you, and that my office will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law if you are ultimately indicted or charged. But law enforcement cannot do it alone. We need the assistance of law-abiding citizens to report any and all illegal drug activity that they observe occurring in their neighborhoods and elsewhere. The biggest deterrent to the drug trade is when the community becomes very active in reporting this activity to law enforcement. I would like to personally thank Detective Captain Jeff Orr, Detective Greg Leonard, Detective Kerry Nelson of the TAG Law Enforcement Task Force, which is affiliated with the Ashtabula County Sheriff's Department, who spearheaded this operation. I'd also like to recognize and thank Chief Robert Stell and officers from the Ashtabula Police Department and Sheriff Billy Johnson and deputies from the Ashtabula County Sheriff's Department who significantly assisted with coordination of this operation. Finally, I would like to thank all of those officers from the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Cleveland office, the United States Marshal Service, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the Painesville office, and the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation, who assisted with conducting the arrest of the individuals involved. The following individuals have been indicted by the grand jury as part of this operation, and they are part of the press release that were handed out. Marquell J. McDuffie, 10 counts of trafficking and possession. Tanisha Ford, 3 counts of trafficking and possession. Dominic Hoylt Cunningham, 6 counts of trafficking and heroin. Justin Jelks, 1 count of trafficking heroin. Shantae Baker, 8 counts, including trafficking in cocaine, trafficking in oxycodone, possession of heroin, and others. Alvin D. Lewis Jr., 7 counts of trafficking in heroin and cocaine. Cortez Lewis, 7 counts of trafficking in cocaine and heroin. Kwame Willis, who is currently in prison, 4 counts of trafficking in oxycodone, cocaine, and possession. Brent Lacey, 3 counts of trafficking in heroin and oxycodone. Sean Baker, 4 counts of trafficking in cocaine, and he was arrested yesterday. Deshaun Hawley, 3 counts of trafficking in heroin and cocaine. Matthew Rufo, who is currently in prison, 1 count of trafficking in heroin. Shekinah Mathers, trafficking in cocaine and heroin, 5 counts. Lacey Bond, Deshaun Crockett Hayway, 3 counts of trafficking in heroin. Michael Shane Brenneman, 1 count of trafficking in heroin. Rebecca J. Hezebix, 6 counts of trafficking in heroin and 2 counts, including 2 counts of trafficking in counterfeit controlled substances. Jerome Noble, 1 count of trafficking in heroin. Jeremy Baker, 1 count of trafficking in cocaine. Kimberly R. Kessler, 1 count of trafficking in cocaine. Kenneth J. Curry, arrested yesterday, 7 counts of trafficking in heroin. James Brown, 5 counts, 4 of which are trafficking, 1 count is endangering children. Harold E. Ward, 2 counts of trafficking in oxycodone. Dwayne Nicholson, 3 counts of trafficking in cocaine. Brendan Noble, who is in prison, 3 counts of trafficking in heroin. Darnell J. McMorris, 1 count of trafficking in cocaine. And Byron L. Hood, 1 count of trafficking in heroin. And I note some of these are significant transactions involving drugs. Mr. Hood's involved 1 transaction over 13 grams of heroin. Before me are some of the items that were found during the execution of the arrest warrants this morning, drugs and U.S. currency that was obtained from a few of those who were indicted. I'd like to have Sheriff Billy Johnson at this time speak.
I'd like to thank all the agencies for their involvement and certainly for the help in eradicating these criminals that are dealing in these horrendous drugs and giving them to selling, using it, and giving it to people who are trying to get on the straight and narrow. I'd like to just send one message to them. It might take a while. We know who you are, and before you know it, you are going to go to jail. It's our job to do it. We're not going to tolerate it. And with the help of everybody, certainly tag all the agencies, Ashtabula City, we are making an impact. And I agree with the prosecutor. I certainly would like the people to understand this does take a little bit of time, but all the information that we give does not go on deaf ears. It's processed, we're working on it, and with their help, we can start reducing many more cases as we go on.
Chief Stout?
Thank you. Not much more I can add to what the sheriff just said. I agree with what he's saying, but I would like to take the time to thank all the agencies that were involved. The level of cooperation with various agencies is, I'd say it's an all-time high. I'm really happy to see that, and it's good to see everybody's working together and working towards the same goals. Thank you.
Captain Orr?
I don't know what I can say. I think you said everything. It definitely takes a team effort out there. You saw that today. We practice these strong partnerships and relationships. It's easy for us to go out and make arrests, but that's only part of the problem. We have a lot of people that are addicted to this drug, and treatment and prevention are the other arm that we need to address. So thank you.
Do you have any questions?
How long an investigation was this?
Well, it dates back to May of 2014 in some cases. So it's been a long investigation. Many of the charges, or some of the charges, are even as recent as last week. So May through of 2014 through March of 2015.
Were there any other local agencies besides Ashtabula Police involved?
I think I cited them in my press release, those who were involved this morning in execution of the arrest warrants. But primarily the Sheriff's Department, which includes TAG and the Ashtabula City Police Department.
Also, and I didn't know about until this morning, a detective from the Conneaut Police Department assisted us in this investigation also.
Okay, great. Thank you.
If they're in prison, how are they getting charged? Tell us about how that works.
Well, these transactions took place before they were incarcerated.
Okay.
So the ones that are in prison as a result of older cases. And the transactions that they're being charged with now took place before they were sentenced to prison.
If you were a heroin addict in Ashtabula County, are you going to feel the effects of this?
Absolutely.
They certainly should, because if they don't, that we'll be visiting them, I'm sure.
The cash on the table, that was from when you arrested them?
Yes.
So how much is there, do you know?
We don't make a habit of actually counting. It's better for us to take it to the bank afterwards. Cops aren't really bankers. We're not really good at counting cash, so.
In the press release, I did identify what we call forfeiture specifications. And for instance, with Mr. McDuffie and Ms. Ford, we are seeking to forfeit $1,368. With respect to Willis, $121. With respect to Brenneman, we're seeking to forfeit a 2004 Ford F-250 pickup truck. So these drugs, suspected drugs that are in front of you will result in additional criminal charges against the individuals, and we will seek, as part of the additional charges, to forfeit the cash that you see in front of you.
What is that used for then, the forfeit money? And
Usually goes back to the agencies that are working on TAG, but it will help assist in buy money. It will help assist in
Grant
matches, maybe equipment that they might need. So if we can confiscate it and they got it illegally and they used it illegally, we want it.